This quick overview will look at the administration side of the Orax SDI system. So all administration tasks are done under the System Settings menu. To have a look at the system settings layout, the first option is your user account management. This is where we set up user accounts and teams and those hierarchies, which include reporting channels. We'll look at those just now. You can see all email logs going in and out of the system here. These are message logs, which can include SMS and push messages. The data admin module allows you to import or export specific modules, mostly custom module data. Workflow dashboard shows you any active workflows and issues with workflows. Workflow notifications can be changed here. This is where certain approvals or tasks or notifications in a workflow has to change due to changes in the responsible persons. System files and styles are managed mostly by experienced system administrators to change templates or defaults on the system. The sections down towards the bottom of the system settings page can be approached from the top. Just simply read through them. The most important are the first 10 sections. This is where you set up the administration notifications and those kind of things, who needs to be notified of what. Categories are used throughout the system for services and sales, so you can set up your categories in a hierarchy in this section. This is where you set up regions for your company, and these are customer account types. So if you do have custom account types for your customers, for instance retail customers or industrial or corporate customers, you want to assign them different types to categorize them better, you set them up here. Work types are used in the service desk and service areas. You can either switch it on or off, and if you do use work types, you can define them here. Incident root cause reasons are configured here. These are only for system calls, service calls in the system service desk. You can create custom skills for matching resources with service requests. This is an optional and maybe a bit of an overcomplication if you have a simple setup. And then the following service desk options may be important if you do use the service desk. This is how you configure basic options like how are service calls created in the system, how are they routed to the specific agent or consultant who needs to resolve them, how emails going in and out of the system that deal specifically with the service desk should operate, and then other notifications and automatic resolution options. Further down the line, we have options for the wide area monitoring module, for tasks and projects, for the LMS, the educational system, for menu changes. So there are modules that are hidden in the system by default, and you can enable them or disable them in this section, and also isolate teams. If you do have several divisions and those teams should not share data, you can isolate them in this area. You can do some basic printing options in this section, and then finally down here you can change the styling and the behavior of the login options for mobile apps and desktop apps, allow customers and employees to register themselves, those kind of options. When it comes to website and online shopping features, you can enable and tweak them here. Email management is mostly for managing email provided by Orax Solutions, and then this is for third-party resellers. If we go up to the top and we look at the account management option, you can see that user accounts are listed down here, and they all are either internal or external accounts. So you can have a customer or an employee account. You can have even accounts for non-humans. These are boardrooms and vehicles, any entity or object that has to be scheduled and maybe used in a calendar somewhere can be created as a non-human account. Before you start managing users, it's a good idea to manage teams. Teams are built with a hierarchy, so the manager of a team should belong to a team above that team, and that allows the system to hierarchically link teams in a structure that builds up to the top. And this also provides your reporting channels. Once again, we do have internal and external teams, so customers also need a team, and you can manage privileges on team level, which can be very helpful if you do manage a large company. Instead of assigning privileges to individuals, assign privileges to teams and migrate users between teams as needed. Let's go back to the user list. You can simply create a new user, either a one-off or in batch. So you can enter the detail here or load batch accounts off a spreadsheet. And then once an account is created, you can simply edit that account by clicking on the email or username. And in here you can see whether it's an internal account, whether the status is active or inactive, all the employees' detail, his or her privileges. Every single employee or every single user account needs the portal access privilege, and this cannot be assigned on a team level. It has to be assigned on a user level. So whether customer or internal user, anybody who does not have portal access, which is the basic requirement, cannot log into the system. Once you've assigned portal access, you can then assign any additional roles. Work access is the basic CRM access. This gives you access to services and the basic CRM functionality. So that is always a good idea. If somebody doesn't have work access, they are seen as an HR account and will therefore have very limited access on the system. So these two are in bold to show you that they are usually required. Customers cannot get the work access role. They have their own set of privileges. And then you choose the specific access. Most salespeople will need customers and also financial documents. Those two mean that they have access to the accounts and also to the quotations. And then on top of those you can assign user accounts and system settings to administrators, the suppliers role to those in procurement. Reporting goes to managers, so anybody who has to see a report on a specific management level, they will receive the reporting menu. Anybody who needs to access projects, Orax support can only be granted by Orax support personnel and developers. The locations and inventory role is given to anybody who has to manage locations and inventory. The learning portal gives you access to courses on the system. So if you are a student or you need access to the learning system, you need this role. HR means that somebody can manage the human resources in the system, but not payroll. In order to do payroll, you need both HR and the accounting, ledgers and payroll role. Then the next one is if somebody is an external accountant, they need only this privilege and portal access, nothing else. If they also need to be able to drill down in the general ledger, they also need accounting. So they can have 2 or 3 privileges. The education and data admin role is given to people who manage courses, modules and data in the system. So they are content managers. The development role is given to developers, which in most cases will only be Orax developers, and then automation and monitoring is needed by anybody who does monitoring or automation tasks on the system. When you select a team, it will show you who's the manager and also the security roles included in this team. So the sales team, for instance, already has work access, customers and financial documents. So I don't need to grant this here. I can remove by clicking on these. I can remove those privileges, give this person only portal access, and knowing that being part of the sales team, they also have those other privileges included. And then if I've made any changes, I need to save those in order to commit them to the system. If I do change privileges, users will in most cases have to either log out and back in to receive an updated menu, or they can alternatively click on the account settings menu, go to account settings and then select reload menu and cached code. This will refresh their menu. If they don't do it, they will still see their old menu even though you have changed it. In order to remove a user, you can use this tab. In many cases, it's easier to remove somebody by just making their account inactive. It depends on how final the removal is. If you make an account inactive, the person will no longer be able to log in, but they will retain all their objects in the system. So if they have records or there's some history around this person, the system record will still be in the system. But if you remove the account, you need to specify another account that will inherit this person's records. So in most cases, when you work on the system, there's an audit log that says this person changed that or created this, and those references have to be updated so that, for instance, a sales quotation would be linked to the new account. So if you do remove an account, you need to assign somebody new to inherit this person's records and links.